Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari 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 Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram,
Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram,
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai,
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanishalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse number 7. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi nalipyate. The meaning of this verse is, one who works in devotion, who is a pure soul and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So, Srila Prabhupada explains, one who is dovetailed in such a way that he is Vishuddhatma. Atma means self and Vishuddha means pure. Pure self. When we think that I am the enjoyer, that is the dirty things covering the soul. I am the enjoyer when I think I am the enjoyer. But when I am Yoga Yukta, everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the proprietor. Krishna is the enjoyer, not I. Then that is Vishuddhatma. Because actually I am not the proprietor. I am not the enjoyer. I can only enjoy what is allotted to me. For example, take example of foodstuff. Now, you can take foodstuff, whatever is required for maintenance of the body. If you take more, there will be trouble. If you take less, that will also create problem for you. So you have to take exactly what is prescribed for you. The example is given just like the elephant in the jungle. It eats so much huge quantity according to its requirement. 100 pounds per time. Twice like that it eats every day. But an ant will take just one grain, small grain. So neither the ant can eat 100 pounds nor the elephant can survive with just one grain. So like that, everybody there is sufficient food in God's creation. And nature's way is that from the ant to the elephant, all creatures lower than human being, they will never take more, neither they will take less. They will take exactly what they require. And the animals or the birds or the insects, they never stock for next day. You put some few grains, every bird will come and take just whatever it requires. But human beings, they will not only take more than what they require immediately, but they'll also take for tomorrow, for day after tomorrow. If they can store it for next 10 years, they will take that, if it's available. So this overeating, taking more than what one requires, this is the defect, especially among the human beings. That's why Bhagavad Gita, it is said in a later chapter, Yuktahara viharasya. One who is taking only what he requires. Then there is no question of any scarcity. Everybody is being provided for by God. So there is no question of scarcity. So this attitude, Yoga Yukta Vishuddhatma, one who is situated in pure consciousness, he is actually properly connected with Krishna in yoga. Vijitatma Jitendriya. Jitendriya means he is not greedy. As soon as one becomes Krishna conscious, greediness goes away. Then nobody thinks, one who is a devotee, Krishna conscious person, never thinks I want more, no. Whatever minimum required, he is satisfied with that. So that is the characteristic of one who is dovetailed in Krishna consciousness. Such a person is a pure soul. Bhagavad Gita chapter 5 verse number 8 and 9. Together they are given. Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukto manyeta tattvavit pashyan shrunvan sprishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan shwasan pralapan visrujan grinnan unmishan nimishan napi indriyanindriyartheshu vartanta iti dharayan. The meaning of these two verses: a person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all, because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. Now here, one important word that is used, tattvavit. What is the meaning of tattvavit? One who knows the truth. The truth is that unless Krishna sanctions, I cannot do anything. That's the truth. I may attempt to do something, but there are so many obstacles on my path. Just like sometimes we have heard there is a air crash, and sometimes it happens, so many important people are flying, but all of them, in that air crash, they may die, every one of them. So unless Krishna allows, nothing can be successfully done. So we have to take cognizance of this fact, the truth. I cannot do anything independently. I am always dependent on Krishna. Nothing can be done without Krishna's sanction. Such a person is called tattvavit. Then somebody may ask, if only with Krishna's sanction everything is being done, why some people are doing bad things? Why does Krishna sanction that way? Yes, Krishna does sanction sometimes when somebody persists on doing something wrong or bad. That is because Krishna has given little independence to every person. Krishna has given some independence. Nobody can be fully independent. That is only with Krishna. Krishna is completely independent, supremely independent. But as tiny part, we got little independence. So, now this independence somebody will misuse. Then, even though Krishna's intention is never to sanction anything wrong or bad, but if somebody persists and they're adamant about misusing their independence, then Krishna sanctions. Then it is our own responsibility for the consequences. But somebody is dovetailed in Krishna consciousness. What does Krishna do? He gives the intelligence, the direction, the knowledge by which one can return to Krishna, one can go to Krishna, one can reach Krishna's abode. So sanction is definitely there, but Krishna will sanction according to one's desire, according to one's position, according to one's degree of independence that Krishna gives. So always our activities we are performing based on seeing, smelling, touching, tasting through the senses. So whatever be the perception through the senses, whatever be the knowledge we get through some senses, ultimately we have to understand I am just an instrument in the hands of Krishna, because my senses are controlled by Krishna. Krishna is Rishikesha, the controller of everyone's senses. So I have to use my sense or senses, the way Krishna is directing. The way Krishna is directing. Then I can actually gradually make progress to return to Krishna. Go back home, back to Godhead. That is possible if I follow Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse number 10. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena padmapatram ivambhasa. The meaning of this verse is, one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is not affected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. So Srila Prabhupada says, very nice example given here is that if you pour some water on a lotus leaf, that water will not stick onto the leaf. That's natural. The lotus leaf does not become wet in that way. Sometimes the lotus leaf is inside the water. Still, so much water may be there. Waves may be coming. But still the lotus leaf is untouched by water. So, same way, even though I am in the material world, if I stay in this world in Krishna consciousness, and if I am acting according to the direction of Krishna, I will not be affected by any of my activities. I will not be affected by material nature. Now, the reason why when we do something, we actually are getting into problems is because of the material contamination. I am simply preparing, by contaminating my heart, consciousness, I am preparing one body after another body after another body. I am pure spirit soul. So as spirit soul, I don't have to be in this world. I don't have to take birth. But because of the material contamination, I am forced to take birth. I am forced to remain in this material world. So, a Krishna conscious person, he will not be affected by any material activities because he performs everything in Krishna consciousness. So he is happy person in all circumstances. Lipyatena sapapena, he is untouched by any sin. Why? Because of his Krishna consciousness that acts like antiseptic. Supposing there is an epidemic and then there is an antiseptic vaccine that is given. Of course, now we don't have vaccine for this coronavirus. It's an epidemic that is spreading. We don't have a vaccine. Supposing there is a vaccine, then somebody takes the vaccine, they'll be unaffected. Similarly, Krishna consciousness is the antiseptic method to become free from the contamination of this material world. So that is explained here. Brahmanyadhaya karmani. Everything we should perform without attachment, sangam tyaktva, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord. Ultimately, the result of every activity should be surrendered to Krishna. Because Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the enjoyer. Then what about me? Whatever is allotted by Krishna, I accept that and I should be satisfied with that. Because ultimately I am not meant to enjoy here, I am not meant to live here, I am not meant to be here. Due to some misunderstanding, I am here. Now, my endeavor should be how I can go to Krishna, Krishna's personal abode. There is my real life, there is real enjoyment, there is unlimited pleasure in association with Krishna. So this understanding is required, this knowledge is required, this truth we have to understand. Then there is no question of accumulating something here, trying to enjoy in this material world. No question at all. Absolutely. So I'll take some questions now. What is the difference between chanting and remembering Krishna? Now, chanting involves vibrating the tongue. Please remember always, chanting means vibrating the tongue. It's an action of the tongue. Vibrate the tongue and produce the sound, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Remembering is an activity of the mind. Remembering. Smarana. Chanting is kirtana or japa. So, two different activities, chanting and remembering. And before we practice chanting and hearing Hare Krishna, it is not advisable to try to do this remembering Krishna as a devotional service. Of course, we should remember Krishna always. Yes. But that is possible only after we have sufficiently practiced chanting and hearing. So first comes hearing. Like we didn't know about Hare Krishna mantra. How did we come to know? When we heard from somebody who knows. We heard this Hare Krishna mantra. Then we begin to chant. We repeat. We follow. And we begin to chant. And when we chant, we should also hear. Then by chanting and hearing systematically, not only the holy name, about Krishna's glorification, about Krishna's pastimes, about Krishna's qualities, about Krishna's abode, everything connected with Krishna. We chant, we hear, and then after sufficiently having heard, we can remember. It's like Krishna's pastimes. Leela Smaran, it is said. You can remember Krishna's pastimes. You can remember the holy name of the Supreme Lord. You can remember the different names of Krishna connected with his different activities. You can remember the form of Krishna which you would have seen in the temple. When you are not in front of the Krishna Vigraha, Archa Vigraha, the deity of Krishna, you're not in front. Then if you had seen, you remember, you carry that impression in your mind and you remember the beautiful form, decorated, beautiful form of Krishna, like that. So remembering also has got a place, but it is not easy. It's not advisable in the beginning so much. So, more important in the beginning and strict practice of chanting and hearing. Vibrating the tongue. Chanting means vibrating the tongue. And hearing is attentively giving our ears, lending our ears. Not that I have heard this so many times, it's the same thing. No. Unless hearing is perfected. What is the perfection of hearing? That we are able to actually experience the transcendental effect of the sound. The sound is Krishna. So when we hear Krishna's name or Krishna's pastimes, we are actually with Krishna. We are directly should be able to experience the presence of Krishna in his fullness. His form, his qualities, his abode, his paraphernalia, his devotees, his everything. So that is perfection of hearing. Just once you hear with full attention properly, it can cleanse away all the dirt within the heart accumulated for millions of lifetimes. That is hearing. By simply hearing the holy name of Krishna, pure devotees go into ecstasy. That is hearing. So perfect your chanting and hearing. And then smaranam will be automatic. chanting Hare Krishna mantra alone, can we become pure devotees of Lord Krishna and return back to Krishna? Yes. Alone means till we perfect our chanting, we are unable to chant all the time. So, we are recommended to perform different varieties of devotional activities. 64 different varieties of activities are given in the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That's a book written by Srila Rupa Goswami. How in the beginning we can perform Bhakti Yoga practice, Sadhana Bhakti, 64 activities. They involve varieties of activities of the body, mind and words. Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. These are the three ways in which we act in this world. Physical action, verbal activity and mental activity. So all the varieties of engagement for the body, for the words, for the mind are given in that. So in the beginning, chanting, hearing, taking prasadam, having darshan of the deity, worshipping Krishna, so many varieties are recommended. And after we develop our devotion, awaken our devotion by practice, then slowly we can stick to one type of activity, chanting particularly. And then we chant and simultaneously we hear, and by doing that we can perfect ourselves. That alone is enough, but that is only after we have sufficiently practiced these varieties of devotional service. It is said that one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all, but in day-to-day life, doesn't this make such a person people's order carrier, pushover and dump work person? Now, servant to all means understanding one's position, exact position in this world or in reality. Nobody is master. Who is the only master? It is Krishna. The only master is Krishna. Everyone else is servant. But foolish people think that they are independent and they are busy serving their senses. They are busy serving lust, anger, greed, illusion. So that is a foolishness. So falsely don't think you are master. In Krishna consciousness, we want to be situated in reality, truth. So a Krishna conscious person understands, I am servant of Krishna, and in service of Krishna we also serve Krishna's parts and parcels. We serve Krishna's devotees. We can never be master. We can never be master. Now here, servant to all means engaged in serving others in the mission of the Supreme Lord in this world. In this world, everyone is forgetful of Krishna. So Krishna desires that everyone become Krishna conscious and everyone should return to Krishna Loka. So understanding this mission of the Supreme Lord, a devotee tries to preach Krishna consciousness to everyone, trying to actually give them Krishna consciousness and acting in such a way that I am trying to do welfare activity for others. I am acting as others' well-wisher. In that sense, servant. Not that I am servant for carrying out some material activities. No, not that way servant. We have nothing to do with material activities as devotees. We are simply engaged in devotional service. What is meant by because everyone is satisfied by his work, he is pure in consciousness? Isn't purity in consciousness dependent on satisfaction of Vishnu? Now, everyone is satisfied by his work means, again, it is because the devotee works without any selfish interest. In that way, others become very pleased with him. Because devotee is dependent for his own welfare upon Krishna. So he has no requirement that others should serve him or others should take care of him. No, he is dependent on Krishna. So, as far as he is concerned, his energy is meant for preaching to others, for telling others about Krishna consciousness, helping others become Krishna conscious. In that sense, everyone is satisfied with every sane person, sober person understands a devotee is selflessly working. He is not selfish. Next question. If realized person knows that he actually does nothing at all, senses do their routine work, how is Jivatma's Krishna conscious action to work for the Lord executed? Is that not considered as soul willfully acting? Yes, every action is initiated by the desire of a particular person to do that activity. It's like I desire to lift my hand. That is the beginning of this action of lifting the hand. But what happens after that? When I desire to lift my hand, Paramatma has to sanction that desire. Then material nature will carry out this action. Though I cannot make out in my present condition, in the conditioned state I cannot make out, but this is what is actually happening. Now what about Krishna conscious activities? 100% Krishna sanction will always be there. Krishna wants us to act in Krishna consciousness. So there is no question of Krishna not sanctioning. And there is no question of material nature carrying out Krishna conscious activities, because Krishna conscious activities are under the purview of Krishna's spiritual potency, not material energy. It is under Krishna's spiritual energy. And that spiritual energy is simply meant for devotional service. So guaranteed it is going to be success. Guaranteed it's going to be sanctioned. Guaranteed it's going to happen. So in Krishna consciousness, there is no question of failure. There is no question of Krishna not sanctioning. But still, the initiative is mine. If I have to do devotional service, initiative should be mine. I have to take the initiative to do it. That's where it begins. And rest of it, Krishna takes care. But I must endeavor, I must desire, I must endeavor from my side to do it. Next question. Can you please tell some examples how we can surrender results of our work like study, career, job, business, family maintenance? Result of any work generally in this world is some money. As far as studying is concerned, by studying one is actually acquiring some knowledge. So applying that acquired knowledge in Krishna's service, in devotional service. So that is the way to surrender the results to Krishna of studying. Or a business. Business, obviously there is some profit. So offer that profit to Krishna. So like that. If you got some skill, then utilize that skill in devotional service. If you got intelligence, utilize intelligence in Krishna's service. Like that. Here's a question. I've done so many sinful activities. Still can I become pure devotee? Yes, everyone in this world is sinful. Everyone. But we should endeavor to stop sinful activities by engaging in devotional service. And then as we keep on doing devotional service, there will be purification of our heart. And by purification, becoming complete and perfect, will become pure devotee. So that is the way. It's time up. Remaining questions, I will send written replies in the comment section of this video. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.